Ladies and gentlemen, we have Zeyan back on the show. In all the friends I know, you had the toughest experience professionally that you have gone through.
Maybe, but the thing is, I never look at it that way. For me, it was more like, look, this is part of life.
What was the turning point for you to come back to UAE?
I was having options to go to Saudi, work there, getting a lot of contractual opportunities over there, and I got a couple of good ones where I was like, okay, you know what, I could consider it. I had a guy who joined, and in 2 hours he resigned because the head of HR comes, hey, you need to do this, you need to update this, you need to update that way, and he's like, I'm being hired as a tech lead. Why am I wasting my time messaging on Teams?
The Zeyan until yesterday, what advice would they give to the Zeyan of tomorrow?
The ifs and buts makes you stress out so much on life. And that's when you start losing your shit.
What was the turning point for you to come back to UAE? Or how did you get a job, or did you get a, tell us about it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So I think, what happened was that I was having options to go to Saudi, and I had my full mindset of, I'm going to go to Saudi,
Right.
work there, getting a lot of contractual opportunities over there. And I got a couple of good ones where I was like, okay, you know what, I could consider it. And at the same time, my Dubai visa was being rejected. No particular reason. So I was like, okay, maybe, this is a sign of God. Let's try a different place again. I mean, not different for me, Saudi, born and brought up over there. Not born, brought up over there. So I was like, let's go back. And at the same time, when I was discussing with a couple of companies, okay, you know what, how do I get there? What's happening? Because at that time, during Hajj period, they canceled all business visas and tourist visas for that particular time frame. So I was like, okay, let's wait. And the idea was to wait till September and then join whoever I'm joining by September, October. And just like that, my father-in-law was like, oh, I found an agent. He's saying he can get you the visa as long as you apply with your wife. I was like, okay, let's give it a try. Applied for the visa. At the same time, got an interview call. And I did my interview, did the case studies. The company seemed well. And luckily, I got the visa. And the same week, I got the job as well. And the condition was join next week. And this all happened towards that mid-September point.
Right. But how long were you waiting for this?
10 months.
10 months.
10 months. 10 months.
So what did you do for these 10 months?
All right. So 10 months was, I think, a bit of a roller coaster in terms of like work-wise and productivity-wise. I got married in Jan.
Okay.
Start of Jan. And then I was
And that's when you also...
I left Dubai December. Yeah.
And you go back home and you get married.
Yeah, the whole point was to go back home and get married. So backtracking a bit more, I parted ways with this company, my last official company, in September.
Right.
And then from September, I was looking for a good opportunity. Getting the offers, but they were awful. Like getting managerial position, 4,000 dirhams, 6,000 dirhams, and I'm like, what is this? Like that, I can't even afford to live in Sharjah with that salary. And when you bring that up with the employer, and they were like, oh no, but 6 months, and then we'll see, or 3 months you'll see. And I'm like, okay, put that in the contract, but no one wants to put that in the contract. And I was like, you know what? I don't wanna even risk it. Like, why put 200% into work and not even be appreciated, even in terms of just basic salary, right? So I was like, no, let's wait for the right one. And by the time I was waiting, the whole point of me traveling back from my marriage, that point came. And I was like, okay, now the risk was I go back, my visa's cancelled, and then coming back would be more difficult because obviously when you're in the country, it's easy to find a job. But I think a week or two before traveling, I was getting opportunities, but the timeline of them applying for my visa and Emirates ID and everything, it was like a month is needed. So they said I can't travel. So I was like, okay, you know what? There's no point. Like I can't postpone my wedding now. Everything's being paid for. So I was like, okay, nope, never mind. Let's just go back. I go back to Pakistan. I get married at the start of Jan. And then I'm like, okay, let's reach out to this company and see if they can apply. And they said no. No, we don't want, it's too much hassle, which I don't understand what is. There's no explanation. They're just like, no. So that point, I'm like, okay, let's just take a break. So a month, I just took a break, chill with my family, because I've been away from my family since I was 17. Because I did my university here, worked here. The most every year I would spend with them would be maximum like 20 days since 2014 onwards. So nearly 11 years, barely spent time with them. So I was like, let me give them some time. It was fun. My mom spoiled me every day. I was getting breakfast at my bed, not doing anything, waking up at 11 a.m., 12 p.m., sleeping late. I felt like, I was back in my high school days. But then I was like, okay, now I'm getting frustrated. Like, okay, what do I do? I'm applying abroad in GCC, but the same thing. Oh, if you were in the country, this would work out, not from outside. And then I was like, okay. Then I did a bit of like freelance stuff through my friends. Worked with a couple of companies in Saudi because of the visa issues over there. So they were like, okay, we'll just give you a visa end of the year. So I did some consultations, freelance work in terms of e-commerce management, accounting as well, giving them forecasts. And that was fun. That was a learning experience because I was learning at the same time because different industries. Some was a suitcase industry, which they were going in Saudi, and I was like, okay, this is a different challenge for me. Because coming from a digital background, going into complete retail, that too in the luggage side, that was different. So that was fun as well. And then my dad was opening up a shop in Pakistan.
Right.
So I was like, that was an experiment he was trying. So I was helping them building their website, managing their stocks, going into the store, actually doing work. I didn't do much. He did every day, but still learning opportunity. And I tried looking for jobs in Pakistan. And you know how over here when you come from India or Pakistan, one thing they're like, oh, you don't have GCC experience.
Yeah.
I go there, they're like, oh, you don't have Pakistani experience. And I'm like, man, what is this? Like, work is same. You just need to get in the market. And then if I have the experience, I will easily fit in. But then they're like, no, we don't know. They don't want to risk it either. So I think getting a full-time job at that point was being difficult. And then luckily, this Dubai opportunity comes. It was like a month-long process because the initial interview, did an interview with the manager, the case studies, and then got selected. I got that job, and then I came here. Yeah.
Okay, so let's say these 10 months, right? First of all, I want to know how many months you were without a job, and how many months you were actually doing something.
Oof. I would say out of 10 months, I would say easily 6 months I wasn't doing anything.
You weren't doing anything?
Yeah, like not working.
Okay, so I just want to understand this. And again, I said you have to open up as much as you can, right? So you get recently married at January, right? In January. And then 6 months without job. You're with your parents, and I guess even you're with your wife, and she's at home and everything, right? I just want to understand your human side of things.
Yeah.
And I want to understand the feeling that you were going through first.
Okay.
And then I also want to understand what kind of support or what kind of thinking other people were going around you, basically.
So I think in the first initial 4 or 5 months, I was just going with the flow. I was tense, but not that tense. Like, okay, recently married. What do I do now?
You have some savings.
Yeah, I have my savings and everything. And I was like, okay, but that idea of, okay, the future was always like something that would kind of stress me out for a bit. But the support I got from my family and my wife's family was great. They didn't care. They were like, look, you're here, spend time. You haven't gotten this opportunity for so long. So take advantage of it. And honestly, I needed that, to spend time with my family, with my mom and dad especially. I think that was something I was missing in my life for a very long time in my life. And then even post-marriage, even for my wife, gelling in with the family became much easier as compared to just traveling in the third or fourth, or maybe after a week of married. So I think that was a good positive in terms of family wise. And then like for me, it was more like a vacation at point of
Right.
time. You know?
Okay.
Like working for so long, even long hours, I haven't gotten that break. Even if you go on vacation while you're working, you still end up working a day or two. So that thinking wasn't there that I have to wake up, report to someone, or there's gonna be a crisis at work which I need to resolve. That wasn't there. So I was getting my full sleep for the first time. 6, 7, 8 hours a day, or even more. Getting food, eating properly. Wasn't used to the desi food over there. Every other 2 weeks I was in the bathroom for long.
Oh my God.
Yeah, but
yes, I can understand.
Yeah. My stomach, after good 10 long years in Dubai, it just couldn't adjust to Karachi food. And I got mocked for it a lot. Like, what is this? Bahar ka bacha and all that.
Yeah.
So, but it was interesting, and met few of my friends over there. Hung out with a lot of relatives, but stayed home too mostly. And I was doing my stuff, like spending time with my sister, bullying her as much as I can. The amount of times I've missed bullying her, so I've done that. And I think towards the end, I would say June, July, I was like, okay, no, what am I doing? Like, I really need to do something. And that's when I got more aggressive with my job search.
Right.
More aggressive rather than instead of just applying, reaching out to people, reaching out to them, asking them who they know can help me out. Because I realized no matter where you are, even if it's your own country or not, you need a connection.
Right.
Maybe 5-6 years ago, no, you would get a luck and you get a
yes.
couple of jobs.
Yeah, somebody would just contact you on LinkedIn and then you would get a job. But now
Exactly.
it's very difficult.
Now it's difficult.
It's difficult everywhere, by the way. Yeah.
The thing is, the 4,000 dirham story I told you about in Dubai, in Karachi, I was getting opportunities for 50,000 rupees.
Which is?
Not enough.
Okay.
Not enough.
Equivalent to 4,000? No. Less than 4,000?
Yeah.
Shit. Okay.
You know what? I'll do the calculation for our viewers as well. So, you would do... it was around 600 to 700 dirhams. Right?
No way.
Yeah. And no one can survive that, even in Karachi. It's expensive. But that's what you're getting, and people are taking it because there are no jobs in the market. So a lot of companies are exploiting that position of someone, and they're like, okay, let's see. And 9 times out of 10, people are going to say yes. Because if you say no, they're like, okay, let's go to the next candidate. We're not even going to hear what he wants. And the same thing happened here. The same thing was kind of happening in Saudi as well. And that was annoying. How do you expect someone to actually even support their families? Because a lot of people have big families over there. And I met a lot of people who had their parents, brothers and sisters, younger ones, kids. And one person's earning, and he's earning 75,000 rupees, or maybe max 100,000 rupees. And they have to just live with it. They live in small apartments, small houses, and that was the condition over there. And it's it doesn't matter where you are. Every place you go, you get the same treatment.
I mean, each one to their own, and everyone has their own experiences. And I think, Zeyan, you going through such an experience, I think it means something, and there is something that needs to come out of it as well, right? I mean, in all the friends I know, you had the toughest experience. If I have to look at properly, the toughest experience professionally that you have gone through. And I mean, it's just being unlucky, not once, not twice, not thrice, but just in a line, continuously until now. I think now things have started getting better. I feel it.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah. But before this, as in now after you came back, you have come back to UAE. I think things now are a little better.
Yeah.
I think the lady got some luck in your life.
100%.
But I think before that, your experiences, and I think it has a meaning as well.
Yeah.
I mean, touch wood, nobody should go through an experience, and I have not been through an experience. And let's try to, kind of do a little bit of surgery to it, dissect it, and try to understand. Because if we can send out a message to people around, right? Look, we are not pointing out anybody. We are not putting anybody in bad limelight. But there are a lot of people who might be going through the same situation right here in UAE. And I think it's better for them to share your experience, whatever your learnings have been, and whatever conclusion can come out of it. So let's start from the start now. Okay. So I think your first job was pretty comfortable because we were all working together at that time. But okay, so I wouldn't start from the first job experience, because after your first job, the next job that you got, that's where the actual problem started, I would say. Or am I wrong?
I think next job wasn't that big of a problem because it was a 6 months contract. I think getting out of the first job was the reason I took a risk with the gamble of that 6 months contract. First job was great, people were great, but towards the end, it was just like there was no growth for me. And I think that is something that management at that time was not understanding at all. So moving on to that contractual role I got, a big company, learned a lot, working in a multinational firm over there. It was great, but the issue was it was 6 months and they wanted to keep me full time. But because the job was in Abu Dhabi, the salary I was getting to the amount of money I was spending living wise, it was going negative for me. And that was something they were not budging on. And at the same time, I got a role at this e-commerce business startup. And I was like, it's a different field, because that's when I completely shifted from accounting to where you could say marketing and e-commerce management. And that company at the start was great, even in terms of people, and I would still say that was the best place I worked at. Because I learned a lot. I had the freedom to take my own decisions, try something new, as long as I could prove something, as long as it worked. Even if I fail, I need to know why it failed. So, have everything that you could say documented to be like, okay, we won't try this again. Or how do we do it differently? And I learned a lot. Sadly, because of I would say, management decisions, the company didn't work out and they moved everything to Turkey and everyone got laid off. And I worked there for almost a year now. So this was in 2023. So 2023, September, that company ceases operations in UAE. And then I'm like, okay, I'm in that phase of looking for a job again. But I got another job at this digital transformation company. And at that time, it was like beggars can't be choosers.
Beggars can't be choosers. Yeah.
And it was a different role because oh my God, I'll start with the interview process, because you do your phone interview. I'm told it's an account management position.
Right.
Not given, or in a project management position. And then my HR goes like, no, I think you fit in business development. And I'm like, nowhere in my work experience have I ever done business development. So how are you telling me to go in that part? They're like, no, we feel that. And I was like, no, like, I'd rather stick to account management, project management. Like, okay, I go for the first interview, and this person comes in, gives the interview, and honestly, I thought I'm going to get rejected because of like how she was asking the questions. But she was a really nice person. I found that later. But that was the first one. They called me for the second one, and I had to do a case study. And I went there at 11 a.m. and that interview lasted till 5 p.m. So I did 3 interviews that day.
Right. Okay. 3 rounds.
Yeah, 3 rounds.
Okay.
3 rounds. Once where I did my old case study, had to then present it. Then they gave me on-spot case study, presented at the CEO. Then there was another interview with another manager. And they all asked me the same questions, and all had the same answers. They just wanted to see how I'm going to react to it. Then I had a 2 hours interview with head of HR, or I don't know, a culture. And it was hell. And hell in terms of the experience. Like, it was a completely pointless, because she wanted to know how I am as a person. And
Right.
It felt like I'm in a therapy session.
Right.
But it wasn't good therapy.
Right.
Because you shouldn't be asking me what are my 5 favorite qualities, what do I dislike about myself, and they, like, how we would interview someone in a podcast and be like, hey, like, tell us yourself. It was
Right.
that question. They're kind of a bit more personal. Are you close to your mom or not? And I'm like, that's not a professional thing, right? But
right.
to each their own. That was something they wanted to learn. I don't know what they were doing. 7 hours long, and then they offered me the job.
Right.
This happened all in August, and I got the job in September. And I was like, you know what?
This was the latest job before leaving Dubai.
Yes, before leaving Dubai.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, you know what? Let's take it. And the issue was, from my initial interview of what I was told about the company, or the position rather, it all kept changing by the time I joined. So when I went in, there were like 20 people in the office. When I went, there were like 6. I was like, okay. Like,
so when you went in
for the first interview.
For the first
like,
interview,
I
there
saw
were
a lot
20
of
people.
Around
Yeah.
20 people, let's say.
Right.
And then when I went there, like 6 or 8. I was like, okay, maybe there was someone else, I don't know. And this was like more of like consulting company. And my manager, the only person who didn't interview me was my manager.
Right.
So technically, he has no idea who I am. He's just heard it from people, right?
Right.
And a great guy. Like, I absolutely love the guy. I go in, and they're like, they give me a whole plan. This is like a year-long plan. They're like, first 3 months, we're going to train you. 3 to 6 months, we'll put you on a project. And then after 6 months, you have to take it on your own. I was like, great. Like, you know what? They look like someone who, they know what they're doing. They're planning. I haven't experienced this anywhere. It was always like given to me. I do it myself. I was like, okay, let's follow this. And they did not follow that.
Right.
They did not follow that.
But what was the compensation plan during this entire period? Like, were they giving you a fixed salary, or were they like?
So
Yeah.
the thing is, they told me they won't pay me for the first 3 months of my probation.
Wow. So
And they're
you're
gonna-
not getting a salary.
No, they told me that and then they're like, they're gonna give me allowance for lunch and travel,
Right.
like 1,000, 2,000 dirhams. And I was like, no. I was like, I have 3 to 4 years of
Who does that?
Exactly. I have 3 to 4
Yeah.
years of experience. I'm like, I'm not accepting that. So
Yeah.
either you hire me full time,
Right.
and they weren't gonna give me a visa up until that 3 months mark. And I was like, you give me the visa as well, or I'm not joining.
Right.
And they actually agreed. So this is the funny part. So when I joined, they had like a whole work friend who would come and give me a whole tour and everything, which didn't really require it. It was just a small office with like 20 tables and a pantry. And then he just takes me out and everything. And then a day or two later, I haven't spoken to anyone, because I'm like, everyone just sits there at the place and they just don't talk to anyone, or they have their group. But the thing was, they were all kids. They were all 18 to 20 years old. And I'm like, why? Like, there were like 4 other adults in the company. The rest are kids. Turns out they were all interns. They're being paid like 3,000 to 4,000 dirhams. And they were working for like 12 hours, 16 hours.
Wow.
No break. And I was like, what is this? Like, I don't understand. Like, I've done account management, project management, but this is different. And when I joined, they just keep changing their hierarchical structure. So before it was like CEO, this position, under that comes different departments. 2 weeks later, it's changed again because the CEO has another vision. Then ChatGPT comes into place. They're like, no, ChatGPT said this, so we're going to do this now.
What?
Yeah, so that was...
No, sorry. Can we go back to ChatGPT? So basically...
So they would just put what's the best structure for a digital transformation company, or like what's the best, that's the best practice.
On ChatGPT.
Yeah. And mind you, these people have 12, 20 years of experience, right? And that's how they are doing everything. And the whole business is running through ChatGPT at that point. So from managing a project, okay, because I told them I don't have technical experience. If you're telling me to come in for IT project management, tell me now, I won't. They're like, no. This is all you just have to do is manage the project, manage the team, and make sure that the project doesn't fail. I was like, fair enough, I could do that. Client facing everything, I could do it. And first 2 weeks they were training me into how to make presentations in their way, and that was a bit helpful. All of a sudden, my second week, 3-4 people from my department resigned.
Right.
And my department, we were a total of 6 people. So one is my manager, one guy's in Saudi, and then 4 were in Dubai itself. From that 4, 3 resigned. And all of a sudden, I have their biggest project. That is my project now. With barely any proper induction, no proper introduction of the project. And I would just like put into it. And they're like, this is how you're going to learn. And then I was like, okay, I don't care. Like, this is part of the job. And then I would have weekly meeting with the same head of HR, because she wanted to see how I'm doing mentally over here. And it was difficult because they expected me to know development terminologies when I have zero experience in development. And I still learned a lot, and I was learning, doing my research. I went into these government meetings because the client was obviously a government client, and I was bullshitting, and they loved me. Till this date, I am in contact with few people over there, and they were like, "Oh wait, why'd you leave the company?" All that. I'm like, I don't think I can tell you exactly, or rather, I don't want to waste my time doing that because again, I know people are working there, so let's not. But from client side, I was doing great, but internally, they had so many processes. So for example, if you and I are sitting on a table, we can't discuss this and be like, okay, this is the plan. I need to message that on Teams, on a group, of what we have discussed, and every word by word.
Right.
And if let's say you and I make a plan to execute, we can't execute that until that's in the team chat and 4 people have seen it and approved it.
Right.
Which they did not understand, that if it's a high-level project, you need to be quick. And the thing is, even if you and I agree to it, the third person who has to execute it from development side won't budge until the CEO gives his go-ahead. And I'm like, that is, the micromanagement was crazy.
Right.
And then every Sunday morning, you have to send in your plan of what you're going to do this week. And on a daily basis, you have to explain what's your plan. And then ending, you have to give end of the day, give your update, what is achieved, why is it not achieved.
Right. I mean, see, when you're writing this on papers, right, it kind of looks very, all right, this is the organization structure. This is what you need to follow if you're working in an organization. You should be following
exactly
whatever they say.
Yeah.
So it kind of looks us like
it looks
very
great.
professional process and an
exactly right
organizational process.
But the issue is, when no one knows what they're doing, they can't tell you what they want to do.
Yeah, because a lot of people left.
And
then they started assigning projects to people who don't know about
Exactly.
certain things and certain work.
Again, they have to understand majority of people are interns.
Yes.
So they won't have the level of, let's say, competency or
professionalism
to actually follow each and everything. Yet they were doing a good job. For 6,000 dirhams, they were doing a great job.
So interns were getting 6,000.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a good payment for an intern.
But that was after a year. But the first 1 year, when I asked them, they were only getting paid 1,000. That was their allowance.
For 1 year?
Yeah.
No way.
Yes.
Wow.
6 months to 1 year, depending on their position.
Right.
And this was when I joined the first 2 months, right?
Right.
The whole structure changed afterwards. Then there was no payments for interns. Then there was level 1, level 2, level 3. So level 1 is
internship.
Sorry, no, in the whole office. Level 0, 1, 2, and 3. When you're level 0, you are basically, you have zero experience. You can't do anything without approval. Level 1 is okay, you're a bit better. You can go to client meetings, but you need approval from level 2 and level 3. And then level 3 is obviously management. Level 2 is senior.
Probably a ChatGPT structure.
Yeah.
Recommended structure.
Then they started deducting L&D fees from interns. So let's say new interns were getting 4,000.
Right.
then they would charge 20% on a monthly basis from their learning and development because they're spending time teaching them.
And what are they spending time as in? For, like, to do the work, right?
If I delegate you work, that's me spending time and telling you what to do.
But that's what
a manager does.
A manager does to an intern.
Yeah, but
that's what an intern is supposed to do.
But they're charging, which is illegal.
Which is legal?
Which is illegal.
Which is illegal.
You can't do that. If you're giving a contract, pay them according to contract. Okay? Like, you don't charge a learning and development fee and it's deducted from the salary. The thing is, again, like, because of how the job market is, these guys are saying yes. And I'm like, that it's crazy. And then obviously me and the CEO were not getting along. There was moments where he loved me, there was moments he hated me. And his issue was that I'm too nice.
Are you too nice? To who?
To my team.
To your team?
Or to whoever the team is.
Right.
Because he started outsourcing everyone from Kenya. You know, pay them $400, $500 a month. And his plan was, let's even kick out the interns in the Dubai office because that's cheaper. And you're getting someone senior in Kenya. And everyone's working remote. And then he's also paying his brother $10,000 who's sitting in Ivory Coast, who's the lead developer. So it was very weird. And then I found out the head of HR is his wife.
All right. Okay.
And I'm like, that's why she doesn't get any shit. That's why she can take leave whenever she wants. And I was like, man, this company is just, it seems like a sham. It seems like a glorified development agency.
Right.
Because I don't know if we should put this part or not. I'll say it, then you'll decide it. But
yeah,
whatever solution you're providing to the client is all through ChatGPT.
No way. Are you sure?
From the reports.
Right.
From the reports to the user manual,
right.
Everything is through ChatGPT. The one thing you could do is when whoever developer is in Kenya or Ivory Coast, or one developer who's a cybersecurity guy was in Canada, they would just read through it. Be like, okay, this makes sense. Let's do it. Because the reason client is hiring you because they don't have the expertise on that part, so they will believe you, obviously.
Right.
And I've made reports which I should not be making.
Right.
Like the technical reports I should not be part of.
Because you were asked to make, or
that was my task. Like,
you were asked to make,
because the structure kept changing, all of a sudden I'm also doing that part, which I should not have been doing.
Right.
And then turns out our business development is not business development; it's more account management, which should have been my place.
Right.
And it was more partnership management, and I think I would have done really great there.
Right.
So that, by the way, the HR who hired me already got fired by the time I reached, or she quit, something like that.
Okay.
So I was very confused where she is. And then, my first 2 months, we hired like 20 interns.
Right. 20 interns?
20 interns.
No way.
From 2012.
So all these 20 interns being hired on that structure, basically, level 0.
This was before level 0. Right. They got hired.
And they're getting paid 1,000.
They're getting paid 1,000 dirhams.
Yeah,
and
sure.
This time, the L&D fee is not there.
L&D fee is not there.
This time, they're doing a whole lecture thing. They're assigning lectures and everything.
Right.
And for some reason...
Who's giving these lectures, though?
The CEO, the VP, his wife.
Right.
And our other managers. So we had like 4 managers in the company, including the CEO.
Right.
And it seems like a small school because these guys are all like 18, 19, 17-year-old kids.
Yeah.
Couple of them who
University.
A couple of them had had their parents working in large organizations, so they
in
some large organizations.
Right.
So they were hoping they would give them a job and they would come as clients.
That
was
okay.
That was so stupid. And this one girl specifically, like her dad was in a pharmaceutical company.
Right.
So they gave she came all the way from, I think, I'm not sure if she came from Lebanon or what. They paid for a flight ticket. They gave her a 5-star hotel.
No way.
Because they gave her a 5-star hotel or 4-star hotel. They had to give everyone else, because they didn't want to make it seem shady. And for some reason, all these interns treated me like an elder brother and told me everything. And she was not going to stay. And this whole internship program was 3 months. And after 3 months, 2 stayed. And the 2 they hated the most stayed.
Right.
Everyone else left. And that's when the management flipped. They're like, we spent so much time. What is this? And that's when the whole L&D fee came. And the two who stayed had to, suffer the wrath for it. So eventually that happens, and they do the whole Kenya thing. They hire at least like 40 people in Kenya, open up an office there, do onboarding. And honestly, it seemed like they're hiring slaves because they're expected to work for long hours until project is not done, and you're paying them only $1,000 or $500. I don't think that's right.
I mean, what I understand from this entire point is that it's okay for a founder or for a business owner to do a lot of experiments and to find ways for the business to work. I mean, it could be anything. It could be beg, borrow, steal, whatever you do to basically run your business. But you should also, I mean, what I learned from this is because there's a lot of human stake also involved in the other end. I mean, if you're doing experiments by using a linear model where you are having like 3 or 4 employees plus yourself, and then you're working on projects, you're working on clients, because I think they want to show it on papers also, like, we are such a big company, we have 40 clients, or we have 40 employees, 50 employees working with us. This and that to their clients or to their whatever prospects that they get. But I think that doesn't matter anymore. Like, if they would have used a linear model with 5 people, 6 people, not hired so many people, and just kept on, I mean, at the end of the day, it's more of human stakes involved. Like, it's human beings on the other end.
I'll be honest with you. In terms of clients, their clientele was big.
It was big, okay.
In terms of names.
Right.
And they were getting paid really good.
Right,
even if considering the amount of costs they're saving. I don't think they were even worrying about being a negative.
Right.
Because what they were charging was enough for them to, even one client would be sufficient. And then they were also selling their whole service, the transformation management as a service.
Right.
So in terms of that, they were doing great. The issue came is when you're the leader over there doesn't know how to communicate.
You're right.
And that's why every 2-3 months you would see people leaving. I had a guy who joined, and in 2 hours he resigned.
What?
Yeah. Because the head of HR comes, CEO's wife. Like, you need to do this, you need to update this, you need to update that way. And he's like, I'm being hired as a tech lead to deliver a solution. Why am I wasting my time messaging on Teams when my job should be to deliver that solution and explain you how the solution works? If you want me to spend 2 hours of my morning and 2 hours of my evening in giving you updates to someone who's not even part of the team, he's like, I'm not going to do that. Right? And to me, that made sense. And in all honesty, to a lot of people, that made sense. But no one wants to say anything because CEO's wife. With the CEO, the issue was, he is a really smart guy when it comes to the actual work. What he's doing, communicating, talking to clients, selling solution, great. But when it comes to internally communicating with the team, he doesn't understand what's right or wrong. He would say whatever he wants to say.
Right.
And that's what my magic comes and tells me during my performance review. Because my performance reviews were very weird. Sometimes it was this, sometimes it was this.
Right.
My magic was like, look, I like you. You do the work properly. You put your heart and soul. Yes, there are some few gaps which we need to tweak, but other than that, you're doing a good job in terms of managing client and everything, right? And because I told him, like, I'm not managing the project. You're making me managing an internal team, which the developer should not be under me. I should be just facing the client, and you should be telling me what needs to be done. And I'm like, till now, I still don't know what we have promised to them, because every other week from the contract, a lot of things have been changed.
Right.
Because the CEO wants to create another extra solution and then sell that later to them. Which, okay, forward planning, but give it to someone else. Like, my job is to look at what's contractually obligated to the current solution. But that whole understanding wasn't there, and it took them 6 months to understand that. And a lot of the new hires were leaving because they were like, it's too toxic because they don't listen.
Listening is the problem.
Yeah. They don't understand, they don't listen. Like, if you, like, for example, I need to send out my morning update before 9 a.m. because they're daily morning scrums where the team discusses what they're doing. So if 9 a.m. office starts, I need to be in the office by 8:30 with my updates ready. And at 9, I need to be on that desk. I can't be late. And I told my CEO, listen, I take the bus right now. It takes me 2 hours because of traffic. I leave at 6:45. Okay, the first bus is coming at 6:30. I leave at 6:45. I reach Business Bay by 8:50-ish. It takes me 20 minutes to get up from the elevator because you know how Business Bay offices are.
Right.
He's like, leave early or come by cab. That's not my problem. And I'm like, you're not paying me enough for a cab. And he's like, oh, look, you're coming back to the salary point. I'm like, yeah. And one of the reasons why I got really demotivated with this was because after the first 3 months, they promised me to increase my salary.
And they didn't.
They just acted like that conversation never happened.
Never happened.
And then I got fines on my visa because the HR was too slow to apply and I had to pay it from my pocket. They promised me they would reimburse me. They never did. And then the funny part is, so me and him and an agreement, we shook our hands. We're in July that in August, if I don't like the work or you don't like my work, we'll come in terms. We'll say, listen, I don't think this is working out. Let's end it, right? We'll say, let's say a mutual breakup.
Yeah.
That was a discussion.
Gentleman's handshake.
Yeah, he agreed.
Yeah.
He wasn't a gentleman about it. First 2 weeks when he was in office, he's telling everyone, oh, look, be like Zeyan. Zeyan's doing such a good job. Zeyan's doing such a great job. He goes to Kenya. And the people he is are smart people, but some of them, they're doing work which is not part of their field. Or they're just being put into a project where they don't know what they're doing, right? And he expects me to explain that. I'm like, I don't have time to explain them that. They should know technically from whoever is managing them what they need to do. My job should be telling them, this is what I need. You need to give me that.
Right.
That was the whole deal we made. And that deal, no. They're like, no, you need to now tell them. And I'm like, you want me to manage clients? Okay, you need me to manage people in Dubai and Kenya. I can't. And the thing is, there was a big language barrier over there. Because they're like, okay, if you need to break it down, or rather you need to write it down, expect them to understand, then get on a call, then explain them again, and hopefully they understood. It took us one user manual for a normal Microsoft solution to be made, which should have been done in a week. It took us 3 months because the person in charge could not understand what she needs to deliver. Because she doesn't have technical knowledge and she doesn't know what the project is about. How do you expect someone who doesn't know what's happening in the project to make a user manual for the client? This is common sense. There was no common sense there. Like, it was so bad. Like, when we went to actually give the solution or provide the training for the solution, I didn't even look at the solution. I was never shown the solution. But as a project manager, I had to be there. By this time, I was already decided I'm going to leave. But I trained those people.
Right.
It took me 2 seconds to understand what the training needs to be. And I told the CEO, like, look, listen, you just need to give time and tell people what they're doing. Because when the head of IT, when she explained it to me, and she was a great person, I understood it, and I trained as well. And the thing is, because she was kind of my manager too later onwards, but the CEO and the head of HR always told me, be careful of that person.
Right. So, help me understand, how many job roles did you change in this entire
My role was same.
Your role was same.
On paper, it was same.
Right, okay.
But the responsibilities kept changing.
So, you started with as an account manager.
So, I started as an account project manager, which I just needed to be client-facing.
And then you became?
Then it became like, let's say, you could say, I won't say internal project manager, but a scrum master.
Scrum master?
I became a scrum master.
Okay.
Where I need to just listen to each employees on a daily basis what they're doing, each developer, and tell them what to do. Then I was handling the internal project, let's say the development team. Our operation team did not want to send any accounting stuff, so we had outsourced one accountant. So I had to make a lot of documents in terms of that.
What? Okay.
Because they're like, this is not how it's done. I'm like, I was in accounting for like 2.5 years. I know this is how it's your job.
Yeah.
No, but then I was making all the balances and everything, sending it to their account, the client's accountant and everything. So I was doing accounting job as well. They offered me an accounting role as well. They were like, do both.
Do both, account management and accounting.
I was like, will I be paid For
Double?
double? They're like, no. I'm like, how much were? Then they're like, do you have a friend? I was like, yeah, I have a mutual friend. I was like, I'll give you a CV. I'm like, how much? What's your budget? Like 6,000 dirhams. I'm like, he has to manage the entire accounting of the company under 6,000 dirhams. They're like, yeah, that's what we're outsourcing for. So I'm like, just keep that guy in India, whoever you've hired.
Yeah.
Like, why are you? So stuff like that, and then they would just make you hate the other person if they feel you're being too friendly because they didn't like anyone being friendly. Then what they did, this was for me the last straw. They put a webcam on the camera on the office, and if the CEO is a bit 10 minutes late, half an hour late, he'll be on that call, and whoever's working from home needs to be on that call so they could monitor you.
Wow.
And I was like, what is this? Like, I just don't understand. And then they put me in their performance review. I need to make lecture notes using ChatGPT. And so that would be used by other employees when they join the company. So their onboarding is easier. And I'm like, why? Why am I not working on my project? Why am I doing this whole internal thing? And it was just toxic. And by the time I was about to leave, every person who, let's say, became my work friend, they were all gone.
Wow.
They were all resigned. The only 2 people who were happy were the ones who were working in Saudi because they didn't have to deal with this.
Right.
Because they would meet these people once or twice a month when there was a client meeting, and maybe sometimes not even that. And they were like, it's okay, we just have to go deal with the client directly, and that's it. And I was like, man, I wish I was that. And even like interns, like I had one guy working with me till 2 a.m. at night, and he has no idea what he's doing, but he's doing something. And he's leading the team, by the way. And when he left, there was a big drama. They took him in the room. They're like, you betrayed me. You were like a son to us. And I'm like, why is he like a son to you? You have 2 kids. He's your employee. Treat him like an employee. And the only reason he left was like, I'm working because he was coming all the way from Discovery Gardens.
Right.
So to Business Bay. He's like, I leave at like 6 a.m. or something. I reach office fast. I leave office at 8 p.m. It takes me 2 hours to reach Discovery. Then I have to work because someone in Canada that's when his morning starts. So you have to give him updates. He's like, I sleep at 2 a.m. and I have to leave home at 6. He's like, when do I sleep? And at a point, and when he's awake, I need to be awake too. And this is what I started doing, right? I think this was my mistake. Whenever these developers or, let's say, internal project manager, when they were kind of working under me, I would be up with them.
Right.
Because I didn't want to feel like them to feel shitty. And anytime with clients, whenever they make a mistake, and the client's going at them, I would stop the client and I would go at the client. I'm like, you can't speak to my team that way. Because I'm like, regardless of who he is, no one should be speaking to someone that way. You need to show respect.
Yeah.
And the client appreciated that. The guy appreciated that. And my team would actually work for me. Like when I would say I need something today, they will stay up the whole night, they will do it. Because I asked them nicely.
Right.
That's something that management did not like. They're like, you need to message on Teams. We need to be aware that this person is not doing their job on time. But I'm like, my argument was, if you give them, let's say, 5 tasks, and they all need to be submitted tomorrow at 6 p.m., they can't practically do that. You need to understand, you need to diverse it, you need to hire more people, or you need to change your deadlines. Don't be like, oh, we're going to change your deadlines because you missed. Because for them, they were like, this is how you're measuring your performance.
Right.
I'm like, you're putting them to fail. You're setting them up to fail. And it shouldn't be that difficult. If you're working for 20 years and you were in a consulting company, you should know this is not right. But they never understood that. And eventually, I stuck there till August. We had a discussion. And then the CEO didn't even come to my face and be like, hey, listen, this is not working out. He told the HR to tell me that it's not working out. I was like, perfect. She comes and she's like, hey, I'm really sorry. I'm like, don't be sorry. This is the happiest day of my life. And she was like, oh, okay. I'm like, when is this whole, like my last few days starting over here? They're like, oh, like whenever I send you the email. This is the funny part. Because she's so lazy, she took a week, her sweet time, to make a 2-sentence email and send it to me. So technically now I'm going to earn another 1 month salary.
Oh, wow.
So after 2 weeks, they were like, can you leave now? I was like, sure, as long as you pay me for the entire month. They're like, no, we can't do that. I'm like, then I'm not going to leave now. Then they're like, okay, then you need to do these, and these tasks. And I'm like, but I'm leaving. They're like, no, you can't leave unless you do this task. I'm like, okay, if I don't leave, then you have to pay me for the extra month. They're like, no. I'm like, help me, like, make this make sense. If you want me to leave because you don't like my work, then why are you making me work in those crucial reports? Right? And they're all technical reports. They don't fall under me. They were never even there when should have been, or rather, when I was on the project. And I told this to the head of IT, and she's like, just do something on ChatGPT then.
Oh.
And I did something on ChatGPT. I told it should be 9 pages long. It made me a 9 pages long document. Copy, pasted, that's it, submit it. And she reviewed it, and they're like, okay, whatever. Did they ever use those documents? No, because those are pointless. And then they made a huge fuss about me leaving. They weren't paying me on time. I went to ministry, complained, then they paid me. But they were making a big mess. They didn't pay me properly. I know they cut like a few thousand dirhams.
Right.
Should have taken it in the court, but I was like, man, I have a marriage to deal with, so let's ignore this. But yeah, everyone I knew who was working there, I think only 2 are left. Some clients are not happy, but because they already signed the contract, so they're just there. And same issue even now when I speak to some of them. And I'm like, man, this... So after that experience, I was like, I need to be very careful of who I join. Because even Glassdoor, like, the rating is like 1.5 out of 5.
Oh my God. Okay.
So I don't know if this is still there or not, because they were trying to get it down. Then they made like 50 fake accounts to put good ratings, and they're too loud about it. Like, the whole office can hear you. Why are you doing that? And so honestly, my advice to everyone is, when you're joining, reach out to people working there and ask them.
Yeah.
And I'll be honest, a lot of people reached out to me. They asked me, hey,
before
joining them.
Okay.
Even when I left, they're like, hey,
how did they know that? Yeah,
LinkedIn.
like they reached out on LinkedIn.
Yeah, they like messaging me, and I don't normally accept all my notifications, but if it's not shady, I'll accept it, right?
Right.
All those connections. And then they're like, hey, listen, we got this opportunity. We saw you worked for like a year. Why didn't you stick out for more? And I'm like, look, these people I worked with, great. You will learn a lot in terms of client, because big clients, good learning experience. You grow by yourself. But I'm like, a lot of micromanagement. And if this is something you're okay with, go. Or you desperately need a job, take it. Otherwise, wherever you're, I would say stay.
I mean, that's very important, because companies need to learn that the people you hire, your employees, and even managers like your team members, they are your brand advocates at the end. And if you don't treat them well...
Even when they leave, they're your brand
advocates.
When
they're leaving, I mean, you're going to leave an impression out there in the market where people might not even consider you.
Exactly.
So you really need to be making sure that you treat everyone with respect. I mean, yes, I wouldn't say that everyone can be happy with you, but at least you have to make sure that out of 10 people, at least 9 people are happy.
Exactly. And because, my thing is, the criticism I was getting on majority of stuff, I agreed with. And because the reason I would agree with is because I don't have prior experience in technical side. I'm like, so if it's correct, I'm going to take it. But when you're going to come and put blames like, because I got this blame, a longest paragraph, and this one thing was, you don't come on time. And I was like, brother, I come at max to max, I reach at 9:15, I leave office at 10.
Right.
So why aren't you seeing what's happening post 6? And then they know you don't put more time. By more time, it means you don't wake up or you don't stay up till 2 a.m. working. Because a lot of people were doing that.
Right.
And to all the junior people who are working, I'm like, if it's affecting your health, don't. Because I remember you and I had this conversation once last year on the podcast itself, that a lot of interns we see who don't put in the time because it's Gen Z and everyone, they just come, they leave. Over here was the opposite. Every intern was joining, they were working till 9, 10. They wanted to prove themselves because they're like, wait, we need a job, right?
Yeah.
And I'm like, these guys are actually doing their work. They were lost. At moments, they were being shouted at, yelled at, telling them they're not good enough.
Yeah. But they're still working.
They're still working.
Oh wow.
I'm like, if that was me, I would have left, right? At one point of time, even if you're being treated so badly, you will be like, man, no, I don't want to stick here.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, and then, but they stayed. Eventually, once they'll reach their limit, they're like, no, enough. They're gonna leave, and then these guys are gonna badmouth them to the whole company of how bad they are. But they weren't bad, and we all knew. And I still remember this one time I got a call from a client. So my lunch was on the table. So I left in a hurry to get that call. The head of HR comes, she goes, and with another one of my colleagues did the same thing. She goes like, did your mother not teach you manners? Please clean the table.
No way.
Yeah. And I looked at her. I was like, I didn't say anything. I was like, there are 3 other tables free. No one's using that. We will come and eat. Right after our meeting ends. She's like, no, if you're leaving the table, it should go away. And I'm like, you go and you microwave fish in the microwave, you heat it up, there's a bad smell, but that's okay because you're doing it. Okay, but a food which is completely packed is there, that's an issue to you. And I'm like, you don't make those comments at a professional company.
Right.
Like, if you were on friendly terms, I would be okay with it, but no.
I mean, even if you don't like it, there is a way of
saying
that,
yeah,
or,
like, hey,
or
guys,
sending that
clean
message.
that up?
Maybe a professional email.
Yeah.
We saw that today. Some people left few stuff on the table. Just
don't do that again.
Don't do that again. Yeah. There is a way of conveying a message, which definitely I don't think so. No. So first, I think they need to go for L&D training.
Yeah, and not from the same person.
Not from the same person.
Yeah. But yeah, that was there. So when I was going through that, and when September comes, I leave that place. Honestly, I felt relieved that I don't have to wake up, open Teams, see some criticism about someone else, if not me, and then have to go and deal with that. Because if one person does a mess, the management's mood with everyone is bad.
Right.
And I was like, it was good. In terms of that, I was happy. I was relieved. So for me, a mental break was much needed. And I think that mental break was like 5 months long, where I was happy not doing anything.
Right.
In terms of work. And I think this is my advice to everyone. Do your proper background search. Check the company, look for employees, reach out.
I mean, sometimes even now you can't even trust Glassdoor.
You can't trust Glassdoor.
So I think it's better to find people who work in that company. On LinkedIn. And just reach out to them.
And someone always responds.
And someone will respond. One of them will respond.
And no one's always gonna badmouth it, because they're like, especially with laws, like, you can't be overly critical.
Yeah. So they might give you
They'll give you a pro and con.
They'll give you a pro and con. But can you tell me, like, how many people they should reach out to or get answers from before joining a company? Or just 1 or 3, or at least get 3 reviews or feedback?
See, I think 2 is enough. Sometimes even 1 is enough. Because I remember the company before this, when I was working that 6 months contract, someone from India reached out to me randomly. They're like, and he messaged me like, thank you, because you're the only one from this company who accepted my request. He's like, I know you joined a month back. Should I join or not? I was like, look, I love the environment. People are great. Work is tough. So when you come here, you should just keep that in mind. Because I'm like, if you're coming from India and you haven't worked anywhere else, this will be a completely different atmosphere, even in terms of professionalism.
Right.
And he said, okay. And he joined. And then because it was such a big company, he looked for me. He kept looking for me. On his 3rd week, he found me. He said, "Who's there?" I was like, "Yeah." He's like, "Man, thank you so much." He hugged me and everything. I was like, "Oh my god." And honestly, that guy was really talented. And now he's working for Oracle.
Oh wow!
Yeah, in 9 months he left.
So he came on a contract basis.
He came on a contract basis.
All right, and he's doing good for himself now.
And they offered him a better job, but he's like, and till this day he messaged me, he's like, because of you, I took that step. Yeah. Yeah, and I was like, and for me, like, when someone's messaging me, I have zero connection with that person. I'm not gonna give him bad advice.
Yeah.
I'm gonna give him my
neutral advice, your experience.
Yeah, I'm gonna give him my experience. Yeah. Then he needs to do whatever he wants to do with that.
Yeah. So yeah. I mean, take everyone's suggestion, but
Yeah, but
make
check
your
which
own
position.
decisions.
If you're gonna go message a manager, he's not gonna reply to you, or he's gonna remember that when you join, and he's gonna be like, "Look."
No, I mean, if some manager is joining at a
if a
manager level, manager to manager,
you should reach out to someone in your level,
basically.
or maybe even below that. That's fine.
Yeah,
you'll get an honest feedback.
Yeah, you get an honest feedback. I mean, I've never done this, by the way.
I've never done that either. I've been in the opposite side.
Yeah, I've not been in the opposite side as well, because actually I don't reply to any messages on my LinkedIn.
Yeah, you're too good for them, right?
No, I'm not. I don't know why. I think I should start checking my LinkedIn messages, but also at the same time, I don't even just reach out to people and ask them. Like, I've not done it till now. Like, whatever company I've joined. I mean, I took a very bold step coming from India to Dubai.
Yeah.
And I still didn't do a background check about the company. I was like, okay, I have the tickets, I have the hotel stay. I'll just go and stay. If I don't like it, I'll come back.
I think when you and I were starting our work experience, this whole concept of messaging someone on LinkedIn was not there. Like asking them, hey, should I join or not? We always thought that LinkedIn as a space where you go look for a job.
Yeah,
it was never.
It wasn't so much.
Especially
but I
in our
remember
culture as well.
Yeah, no, but I remember back in India, people reaching out to other people for other companies and asking them, "Could you please refer me for this job?" or something like
I'm talking about when you get an opportunity.
Yeah,
you won't never reach out and be like, "Hey, should I join or not?" We get a job, we're like, "Oh, great, let's just see." We have 6 months probation. If they don't like us or I don't like them, I can leave.
Yeah, I mean, if you message me and if I don't like the company, I'll just say, oh, it's a very amazing company. You should join it too. Why should I suffer all by myself? I'll make you suffer as well.
Guys, don't message us together. Ever.
No, I'm joking. I mean, it's always better to give your own experience and never say anything bad or anything good, but just give your own experience. Like, this is what I am going through.
Yeah.
And that's how people can make their own decisions.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I think they can reach out to other people, get their own experiences, and if everyone's experience is the same, then that's a red flag, right? If it's a negative, that's a red flag. What other advice would you give before joining a job? I think you should get it in a contract written that we are going to, as soon as you start working for us, we're going to get you an Emirates ID and visa in next 3 weeks.
But they need to legally do that.
Right.
They have to legally do that. So at a point, if they don't, you can actually complain to the government. And this is where I really like the Ministry of Human Resources experience over here. When you tell them the issue, they'll give you honest advice. And if they feel something's wrong, they'll tell you, hey, listen, you can take them to court. You don't need a lawyer or something.
Right.
If they feel you have a strong case.
Right.
So one thing anyone joining needs to do is be familiar with the laws.
Right.
Even when you're leaving, when it comes to gratuity, when it comes to payment about your leaves, because a lot of companies, when you're leaving and you haven't taken your vacation days, you were entitled for payment.
Right.
But a lot of people don't know that.
I think everyone should take their contract, put it on ChatGPT.
Just do that.
Life
is easier now.
Yeah, life is easier now.
Right.
And just ask ChatGPT for all the kinds of questions they can ask through. Whatever is there in the contract.
You can download documents from Mora's website.
Yeah.
About what the laws are. Put it on ChatGPT and be like, what applies to me.
Have your own ChatGPT folder just for job laws.
Employment laws.
Employment laws.
Keep that. And I think that's very important, because even when it comes to even in our previous companies where we have worked, a lot of employees leaving, they didn't know, okay, how does notice period works? How does gratuity work? They would just blindly believe whatever you're paying them, right?
Yes.
It's like, no, do your calculation. Even if it's correct, just double check. There's no harm. Because you learn a lot. And even for your own sanity, you need to do that.
Yeah, you need to do that. You need to understand, if you're leaving this job, how much are you going to get paid?
Exactly.
What's your end of service?
Yeah.
How much are you going to get paid for your leaves? Or are you going to get paid for your leaves? What's there in the contract? What have you signed in the contract? I think even before signing a contract now, you need to just put it in ChatGPT and give me the red flags on this contract.
Exactly.
I think you should make that.
You should.
You should check it. You should really check it. I mean, what could be the red flags? I mean, I think the number of leaves.
Number of these work hours.
I think the basic and the
payment breakdown.
The payment breakdown. Travel. I think that's the major one, because that affects the bonus as well.
Exactly.
That affects the bonus as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Don't always fight it, because if you're desperately looking for a job, then you can't do anything about it.
Yeah.
But at least make sure your basic to basic is at 3,500 dirhams.
How much? Sorry?
3,500. I'm saying that because if you want to sponsor your spouse,
Yeah.
you need a basic of 3,500
Right.
plus housing.
Okay,
or
that's
4,000.
something new for me.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because you can't sponsor your spouse if it's below that.
So what if you're earning a salary of 6,000?
So let's say you're earning a salary of 6,000, but your
Right.
basic is 2,000. You can't sponsor.
Yeah, but it's always like 60-40 split?
It's not always. It's not. There's no law about it.
There's no law about
There's
it.
no law about
I
it.
always thought it's like a 60-40 split.
Ideally, yes.
Okay.
But a lot of companies would be like, oh, let's do 30, 20, and they'll put special allowance.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So there's no law about how much the split should be.
Right.
You could request it. Best practice is 60-40.
Okay.
So you can always have that discussion.
So 60 is basically
Yeah.
basic, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
But a lot of companies do the opposite. They put 40 as basic, and they would do 60. 60 is going to be 30 housing, 30 transport.
Just to make sure that the
The basic is low.
end of year allowance,
End of
because end of service allowance and
Is
all
low.
of that basically
Is low.
is low.
Yeah.
So it's like a cost cutting
Yeah.
thing for them.
Yeah.
So there is no specific law for it.
No.
There is no threshold
No.
of how much can a basic be enough.
And another important
Oh.
thing you need to check is when you're getting your visa, or when your HR sends your labor contract, what's your position on the labor contract?
Right.
Because I never did that. I didn't care.
Right.
And then I realized that really affects later. Because if you're getting a manager position and they put you as an executive, it affects. Because I remember one of my friend who was applying for a Saudi tourist visa, he got rejected
Why?
because then his position was business development manager, but his visa said
Specialist?
administrator.
Oh, you need to make sure of that as well, man.
Exactly.
You really need to make sure of that. Yes. What kind of title you're holding on the visa?
Yeah, because on the company, you like, oh look, I have this
Yes.
position.
They could give you anything.
Exactly.
They could give you
But on
anything.
the visa,
On the
that's
visa.
important.
That's important. Yeah, I mean, oh wow. Yeah, could be anything.
Yeah.
So you have to be really like cross-checking
Exactly.
what's there on the visa.
Yeah.
I think you go for your blood test and you can check even during that time as well.
They give you a labor contract from the government to sign.
Yes.
That's when you check it.
That's when you check
That's
it.
when you check
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So you need to check the labor
You need to
contract.
check that and tell them, hey, listen, I'm not this. This is not my position.
Change it.
Yeah.
Right.
It's because
Oh wow.
because someone in HR to always get because the thing is
I think when you
visa-
apply for different positions, there is a different payment
exactly
as
there's a
well, right?
cost, Yeah.
cost also.
But
Yeah.
Legally, you're entitled to that because if that's your position, you need
Yes.
to pay
So
for that
if you're a
person.
manager,
Yeah.
you get a manager.
But for
Yeah.
HR, just for them to save
Cost
the cost
cut.
and then
Yeah.
show the company, listen, I save this much.
Cost cutting.
Yeah. So for their own benefit. So
Yeah.
be careful about that.
Some red flags over there
Yeah,
as well.
this is why my relationship with HRs are never good.
I mean, you should make this.
Yeah.
I've never done these kind of changes. I mean, again,
Yeah, different experience. That's why.
hey, I have not experienced it until now.
Yeah.
I mean, I've been lucky, but now since
Yeah.
that's why I said, like, if you're experienced this, you need to share all of this with.
Exactly.
I mean, one person going through all of this
Yeah.
at once, I think everyone's bad luck just dropped on you, man. Like, I mean, people must be going through worse, man.
Honestly, they are.
I think yours is not the worst of the worst. I think
I-
I'm not sure.
I-
I'm not sure. Yours is worse
The thing,
in our friend circle.
maybe, but the thing is, I never look at it that way.
Yeah.
For me, it was more like, look, this is part of life.
But how is it like every day you just come across something terrible happening? Like every time I'm like, Zeyan, what's going on? And then you give me some terrible news. That
Wow.
was last year, by the way.
Yeah.
That was entirely last year.
Yeah.
Like every time I meet you and you're like, you give me
Yeah.
some terrible news.
No,
like this is
I
happening.
remember after every 2 weeks of our podcast shoot,
Yeah.
I would tell you one news, the next day will be completely opposite. Sometimes I'd be like, I got a promotion, then like company's gonna get shut down, I got a new job.
Yeah.
That's fun. But that's funny, right?
Yeah.
Not funny, but
It's not funny, but
yeah, but
I
still,
mean,
now
yeah.
looking back at it,
Yeah, looking back, yeah.
But I don't know. The thing is, I never took it negatively. I never took it like, oh my god, my life sucks.
Yeah.
Right. For me, I was becoming more mature throughout the years. I think I realized that I need to take everything step by step.
Resilience.
Yeah.
Resilience in a way.
And even like in our religion, in Islam, it's more like if things are going bad, never be like, oh my God, this is happening to me. First thing is look what's happening to people below you, and then have patience. Right? If you just complain about your life, nothing's gonna happen, right? So you pray to God, but don't just pray to God and be like, oh, is this gonna come to my lap? They're like, do something about it too. Because this is what Islam teaches. If you're not gonna try by yourself, what's the point? Why should even God help you out, right?
I mean, God helps those who help themselves.
Exactly. Yeah. And a lot of things, like even the wage job when it happens, it was like I won't say I even expected. Like for me, my mind in Saudi was set. The whole visa thing was discussed with one of the companies. They're like, we'll apply this and this. A couple of documents were pending from my side because it needed government approval in Pakistan. And this job just comes. The interview happens. The case study happens.
Right.
I get the visa, my own tourist visa at the same time. And luckily, I get the job the very next day.
Amazing.
Yeah. It was funny because I got the tourist visa, so I was like, you know what? Even if the Saudi thing, whenever it happens, I can go from Dubai itself.
Right.
So I told my wife, we got both the visas. Let's just go. So I booked my flight for Saturday night. Friday night. Saturday morning I'll reach. I'm at the airport. My flight's at 8 p.m. I reach the airport by 6 or something. I get the contract when I'm at the airport.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing.
And the thing is, when can you join? I was like, I need a couple of days off, so I'll join in a few days. They're like, yeah, perfect. Join on Wednesday. And I came back, got the job.
Right. What's the worst feeling through this entire journey?
I think it was obviously with the part of when I got married. I was like, I don't want to make her feel that part like, oh, I married this guy and all of a sudden can he even provide for me?
That's the worst feeling?
I think for me it was more like because I have someone who's entirely
Yeah.
dependent on me now, who's leaving her whole life to stay with me. And my constant thought was, am I gonna fail her? Because living alone for 10 years, I was never responsible for anyone. Right?
Have you ever asked her what she thought?
She was like, oh yeah, I'm stressed sometimes, but it's part of life. And that's where our thinking matched.
Right.
You know, like she was never tense about it. And we lived our life in Pakistan easily. Our bonding was great. I was bonding with her family. She was bonding with my family. And I think we kept discussing a lot of stuff. You know me, I don't share a lot. And I rarely share specific things.
I mean, today's the first time that you've shared a lot.
Today's the first time you asked me a lot. But I think that's where I would say, mentality was very similar. So that helped in terms of how to take things forward.
Right.
And she was always like, don't worry. Like, you know what? If things don't work out for you now. Because I was always doing something on the side. So it was more like, okay, that could always become into a business or not. She was like, I still have my own career left as well. So once we decide where we're living, that's when I'll start doing that too. Because she's done psychology. So for her, it's more like,
okay,
depending on the place, she needs to do a couple of tests and their own medical tests and stuff. So for that, she needs to prepare that way. So once things got clear, they're like, okay, now we know what to do.
Amazing.
But I think that her being patient and understanding is what helped a lot.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Do you want to know my worst experience?
Go for it.
I mean, no. I'm not saying my worst experience.
Yeah,
for
me.
you.
Yeah, go for it.
I called you, and you said you're having KFC for lunch because you don't have money or something. There was a specific period. You told me, I don't have much money in my bank account, and I have to order KFC, or I have to use this money to buy tickets, or flight tickets or something. And then you bought KFC.
I don't think it was KFC because I was in boycott.
So yeah.
Something else. Yeah.
It must be something else.
Yeah.
Like it was something which was fried chicken, which you were not supposed to be having because it is not good for your health.
Yeah. Oh yeah, because I probably something ordering got a 50% off or something. I was like, I'm ordering that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I was saving money for something.
You were saving money for
I think
something. Yeah, maybe it was for flight tickets or for rent. I don't remember, but there was 2 or 3 specific months where you were, and I was like, man, how is he doing it?
Yeah.
How is he doing it? And I feel that is the worst feeling.
Honestly, for me, it wasn't.
It wasn't?
It wasn't.
But doesn't that make you helpless? Like, I cannot eat what I want to eat. I mean, that's what a man is earning for, right? At the end of the day.
I'll be honest with you. I think when I was in university, I had that thinking. Because I was this very spoiled brat. Like, for me, I remember having an event in uni. I just needed a black normal t-shirt. I could just go on to, like, Max Central Point and bought a 20 dirhams shirt, right? I went to Tommy Hilfiger, bought a 120 dirhams plain black t-shirt. And my friends were like, what is wrong with you? And I was like, yeah, I don't care.
Yeah.
I came to Dubai in 2014. I used the metro for the first time, or the bus for the first time in 2019.
Right.
I was like, I have a car, but even when I didn't have a car, I would take a cab. I'm like, I don't want to do that, right? I was very spoiled.
Right.
And then eventually when the work life started, and when I started earning myself, now my dad's money, I was like, oh, let's go to the metro and bus, right? But even then I would take a gold card. I would not travel silver.
Right.
Up until now. Now, when I'm married living with 2 people, I'm like, okay, let's take a silver card.
Right. But money has never been a problem.
Money, the thing is, I never thought. For me, it was more like, I'm having whatever I have, I'm going to spend. If I'm saving for something, I'm not going to go, I'm going to save somewhere else and spend that money there. Right. I always had this whole, I think that's because, I studied accounting for 4 years. Right? So it was more
skills coming to.
It was more like, and, coming from a Pakistani background, it's like, how do I save money? And money was never an issue, because even when it comes to food, I was like, I don't have a preference anymore. Even my clothing, I don't care what brands I'm wearing anymore. I'll buy a 10 dirham shirt, I'll wear it with my Jordans and be like, oh, look. Someone's like, oh, look, great shoes. No one's going to give a shit what shirt I'm wearing, right? And it's just more like how you handle yourself.
Right.
Even because I remember there was a point in my life where my visa wasn't on time, so I wasn't working for a couple of months with that e-commerce company. But I got an apartment before that. I was paying 4,500 for an apartment with no income. But I had enough savings. I didn't care. Then I called my mom and dad and my grandma and my sister. They were living with me. I started work 2 weeks after the game. And then, and I'm paying for their flight tickets and everything.
No way.
Yeah, and I was doing that. I was like, okay, where do I cut? So I'm like, let's cut off my PlayStation subscription and Netflix subscription for a bit. Let's not go for football and cricket for a while.
Right.
I'll have enough money saved just for this.
Right.
And that's the thing. Like, for me, I have very, let's say, niche likes. So, depending on that, like, my spending wasn't crazy. Okay, like, maybe the craziest amount I've spent was probably on my PS5.
Right.
And that too I paid over, which I feel like I paid like 2,700 dirhams when it came out. It was cheaper for that time, but I was like, I paid 1,200 dirhams extra. But that was during COVID. I'm like, I don't care, I'm saving money. Right? And then if I have to spend a lot, I just wouldn't do it. I'm like, do I really need it? Now I'm like, do I really need it? Does this affect my life? Who am I buying this for, myself or not? Right. If I'm buying a gift, I don't like, if I have to make someone happy, it's their day. Go, I'll spend money. Right. I will buy you a 3,000 dirhams watch. I'll pay for your ticket and stuff like that. Right. But when it comes
do you do it just for your family members or for your friends as well?
Even friends when needed.
Friends, okay.
Yeah. But but the thing is, I never had that weird friends where they give a shit about money or what their value is. Right. Because for my friends, it's always been. Yeah, but for you, it's more like, I'll buy whatever I like. There's a moment chance when you won't like someone who's giving you something expensive. You're like, no, this is not my taste.
Yeah. Right. It's always my taste. Like,
yeah.
And I don't care if others don't like it on me or not. It's just for me. Yeah.
And you are picky when it comes to you paying for yourself.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Because you and I have sat at the weirdest places for hours and that you don't like, let's say, put your likes into someone else.
Yeah.
Like, I'm gonna go wherever my friends are going, and you do that. And I think most of my friends have been like that. So, I mean, apart from one group where they just love to spend money. So I'm like, okay, let's not. I tell them guys, like, I'm broke. Even I wasn't broke, I'm like, guys, I'm broke.
Right.
The thing is, I don't want to go into the lifestyle.
Right.
Or rather, if I don't like it, why should I? Maybe once a month, fine, understandable.
Yeah.
But after that, no. And the thing is, like, I keep my circle very small because I'm like, I need to also save energy. And I think all of us are, including
busy,
you, even busy in times if we have a schedule, like this day needs to be my rest day.
Yeah.
I think that just comes with maturity.
Yeah, I mean, you're right. So we are moving to the end of the podcast, and I wanted to ask you, so what's the Zeyan until yesterday? Whatever Zeyan you have become until yesterday, right? What advice would they give to the Zeyan of tomorrow?
Don't regret anything.
All right.
Never regret anything. I think, because I think we all live in this world where we're always thinking about ifs and buts, and I think that just causes you to lose your hair. It generally does.
And losing hair
is a big issue.
Is a very big issue. It's the biggest issue.
Right?
I don't care if I don't have money anymore.
Yeah.
I don't care if I have the. If you
don't have shoes, you're gonna
yeah, I don't care. Yes.
Right?
I don't have fancy cars. I don't care about fancy cars. I don't care about fancy shoes anymore.
I live in a tent,
fancy clothes.
I need a hair.
I just need my hair, right?
And I think because the ifs and buts makes you stress out so much on life.
Yeah.
And that's when you start losing your shit. And I think the reason, why, like you said, that particular moment wasn't scary for me or is not stressful for me was because I wasn't thinking about ifs and buts.
Right.
I'm like, what do I do next? Okay. If you fail, you fail. You pass, you pass. And you learn from your failures.
Right.
And just like this podcast, we didn't know where it was gonna go.
Yeah.
Did we expect it to go for this long? Maybe not, or we always had our doubts, but it's still going.
Right.
Yes, with a lot of gaps in between. Again, we're two working people, so gaps will happen.
Yeah.
But yet the feedback was always great, right?
Yeah. I mean, I'll tell you something.
Yeah.
Okay. So I was checking yesterday, and I was going to share this with you today, but I'll share it in front of the camera. We still get views on our.
I do. We still do.
I was like, how? Yeah. So people are watching. People, not just the shorts.
Yeah.
We get views on the main podcast videos.
Yeah, I know.
And it's not much, but I was checking. I think last 28 days or something, and then we had like 200 views, and I was like, oh, so we are getting views.
We are.
People
watch it.
People are watching it. Yeah.
But I don't know how long we have, but there is a topic I do want to cover.
Yeah, tell me.
Bit political.
Now?
What?
In this podcast.
I was going to say it, right?
Sure.
Because it's kind of related to job search and everything.
Right,
did affect me.
You should.
Which was the whole Palestinian issue when it was happening. Still happening, right? And I did post about it. I posted about it on my LinkedIn. I still posted on my Twitter. And I share what's happening over there. I got a couple of opportunities. My interviews passed. One was in Europe through my friend. One was even in the Middle East. I won't take their company names or what the positions were. But I got through, and their main thing was, we have done your profile background check. We can't hire you because of your political views. And I was like, why? And I was like, if they are my views, they're my views on my own. It doesn't represent anyone. They're like, yeah, but it's our management and they're scared. It will bring a bad image. And at that moment of time, they were like, one of them even said, like, delete them and it's okay. We'll go
but
ahead.
What stays in the internet is always on the internet, right?
Yeah, but
But
for them, they don't care about that, right? They're like, initial view, no one's going to see it.
Right.
But my thing was, and this is where a lot of people, even in my family, have disagreed. My friends have disagreed. They're like, you should have deleted it. And I was like, no, but because for me, what's happening there is something important to talk about. We don't talk about it, and we are part of the problem because it's something it's awful and it's bad, and we're just living our lives and like consider how bad it is. And this is why something where whenever something's bad happening to me, I'm like, I'm not them. Look at how bad they are and they're still smiling, right? And I was like, I'm not gonna delete a few posts because you don't want to hire me. For me, I'm like, that just completely is going against my values.
Right.
So for that is, I'm not gonna go into detail about it. Maybe some other podcast because we don't have time. But whatever you do online, people check.
Yes.
And I think you need to decide what you want to post and who do you also want to join.
Decide for yourself.
Decide for yourself. Like for me, I'll never delete those posts. I'll still talk about it. I don't care who doesn't want to give me a visa, who doesn't want to hire me because of those. Because for me, those are my values. Those are things I believe in. I believe in their freedom and everything. And if someone disagrees with you and if you think that's wrong, don't join. Because
I mean, your friends and family must have said that you should have deleted
out of
it,
love,
right? Yeah, they must have sent it out of love.
Yeah.
But you decided what you like. Each one to their own.
Exactly.
Each one to their own.
Exactly.
But I think, and that's the advice that we should give to people as well. Like, if you think that you want to delete it, delete it.
Yeah.
If you don't feel like deleting it,
that's
don't delete it.
For me, it was more like I was at a point like, these are my values. I'm not going to delete them.
Yeah. So your principles, your values, right? But you have to live
with your choices.
Yeah.
You can't go back and be like, this is what I say, don't ever regret what you did. You can, because once you do, that's who you are. And then you grow from there. Okay? Because there will be a lot of people be like, oh, if you deleted this would have happened, this would have happened. And even in a workplace,
you don't know.
Yeah, you don't know that. You don't work with people say you shouldn't have said this or said that. I'm like, no, but if something's going to happen, it's going to happen.
Yeah.
You can't control a lot of things. What you can control is what you want to do.
Yeah.
So I think that's pretty important.
I mean, listen to everyone, do your own.
Yeah.
And live with your choices.
Yeah.
That's okay. I would like to throw your question on you. I mean, and you cannot just say that, oh, I'm still learning from people.
Yeah.
All right. Now you have enough experience.
It's just been a year.
Yeah, I have enough experience. It's not just 1 year. And your 1 year of experience is a lifetime experience that others cannot achieve. A lot of people cannot achieve what you have achieved in terms of experience. So I would just say today, as of now, what does success mean to you?
I think being content, not happy, not doing something crazy, just being content with work, with family. Because happiness comes and goes. There will be days when you absolutely hate your life, you hate the person you're living with, whether it's your parents, your wife, your friends. But you need to learn how to be content of having that constant feeling. Okay, you know what? At least I'm waking up and I have this. Yeah, today, you know what? Maybe I invested something, stocks went up, stocks went down. You're going to be like, oh my God, lost so much money. But always look what you have, something else. You have look at your bank account. You have money, you're great. Look at your family. You have your mom and dad healthy, you're lucky. So it's like find that little thing in life and something that makes you content. That is success. Because I think everyone tries to aim for the stars, and when they fail, they feel like, oh my God, my life's over.
I learned it the hard way.
Yeah. So it's very important to have dreams. Never not have dreams.
But don't be hard on yourself.
Don't be hard on yourself. Set realistic expectations too. Be like, if I don't achieve this, at least I have this.
Right.
That for me, that is success. If you're living in a house, getting 2 times food, not even 3, you're doing good in life.
So that's success for you today.
Yeah, that's success.
All right, amazing.
Yeah.
Thank you for the podcast session today, Zeyan.
Thank you for hosting me.
Oh, yes.
Thank you for hosting me.
Finally.
Yes.
And I think from the next podcast, we'll be hosting together, and then we'll have somebody else on the other side.
Yeah.
And I would ask our viewers to actually suggest what kind of podcast or what kind of people do they want us to invite on our podcast, because it's about Dubai life. It's about experiences in Dubai. You want to know about real estate or real estate laws, we'll invite them. If you want to know more about job, employment laws, we'll get somebody from the legal or...
Yeah. Let us know what topics you want to hear. Let us know what views you want to hear. It
Yes.
could be anything. If we can do it, we'll do it.
Yeah, we will try to do our best.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll try to do our best and invite anyone we can. All right. See you next time, guys. See you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.